okay, cool. White girls suck dick better. I'm like, I would say most of the women, a lot of the women that I dated were like light skinned, like light.
I ain't gonna lie, I remember that.
I know.
I think that a lot of times men look at women as a piece of meat. Being light is beautiful, more beautiful than like darker.
He was just saying, I'm sitting right there, and I call him my brother, and he's just like, I just can't see myself with a dark skinned girl. I just can't see it.
I'm not fetishing over what's what. I just like what I like. You know what I'm saying? If it just happened to be, I like this white girl and this particular white girl, I just like that white girl.
And me, I was just like, you know what? Like, you say that, but once you get that booty.
Right. Dark skin don't get no love. So you don't even know what you're doing right here.
You're beautiful. She look like she came straight out of Africa. Like,
Yeah.
that hurts my feelings.
Yeah.
Welcome to the sleepover where we talk all the hot topics. Got my girls, we racking up on all knowledge. Relationships, love and fitness, battle of the sexes, and so much more. The sleepover where we talk all the hot topics. Got my girls, we racking up on all knowledge. So hop on a ride, take a seat, because you're in for a big treat. Welcome to the sleepover, yeah. Welcome to the sleepover, ooh. Welcome to the sleepover, ooh. Welcome to the...
So what I'm hearing is there's like mixed views from the women about surgery and going under the knife. But I'm curious from the men, do you feel that women going under the knife is really to better themselves and to feel better about themselves? Or do you think it's more associated with being approved or lusted after from men?
I don't have an answer for that because I'm not a woman. So if you are going on the table under the knife, I mean, that's your personal, that's your preference. That's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. But as a man, I don't, discredit you for what you're doing. Mm-hmm. But for my preference, I like natural. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like. But hey, if it look good, it just look good. You got a nice body at the end of the day. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to discredit that from, nobody. Rather, because men do it too. Some men out here getting fake abs and big chests and all that. Ain't hit the gym and never. They never hit the gym. So that's what they want to do. That's on them. That's just like a guy taking steroids who playing football or whatever the case is.
Right.
That's your preference.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, I'm not going to discredit you because of what you do. Mm-hmm. You do what you do because that's you.
Yeah.
I love all.
So here... Woo. So I have a lot of feelings that I feel about like surgery and going on the table, right? So one, I feel like there's different situations for different people, like yours, for example. Like that's a completely different situation. You can't box that in the category of people who just doing it to look good, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you're doing it to look like, but you obviously have a bigger reason and a meaning for doing what you do, right? And like, honestly, I'm pro whatever the fuck people want to do. This is your money. This is your body. Like for me to sit back and tell you that you shouldn't or you can or it's just like the motherfuckers in Texas with the abortion shit. Like it's the same thing. It's like who am I to tell you what to do? I feel like if you feel like you need it, cool. Now, do I like when women overdo it? Nah. Like you. Okay, cool. Your titties was
Give
mad.
Give an example of overdoing it.
Yeah. All right, nice. I got you.
Give
Right.
an example.
So look. Example of not overdoing it, right? Okay. So listen, your titties was a little flat, like you had a kid, or you know what I mean? Like they just wasn't what you wanted to be. You just wanted an A/B cut. Bet. Get an A/B cut. Now, your like you ain't got that much ass. You wanted an A/B. Now, but. No. Hear me out. Listen. But you a skinny mini, right? Mm. And you went out here and we got double D's and a fucking ass that stretch out as far as this couch. Now you out here looking like a little ant, right?
So give us an example of somebody out there that looks like an ant.
We don't know my name.
No, a celebrity.
A celebrity?
Who?
Man.
I don't know. No, I don't want to name drop this shit. Catch me up in it.
But we all know what it looks like. Right?
Yeah.
We know it bad.
Yeah.
It's I just feel like you do what you do. Now, do I feel like women? I feel like people naturally do things that they want to do to make themselves look better. Nose rings, earrings, getting haircuts, like wearing weaves, doing like you get the flyest shoes that you can find because you want to enhance yourself as a person. Like, okay, cool. So you did it to your natural body, but
or
like
you never had the money to get it.
You never had the money to do it. But honestly, like niggas don't do it as much because niggas can't do it for the shit they want to do it for.
Like
You
what?
know,
Like
like
what?
dicks. You know what I mean? Niggas will pay to have bigger dicks.
Oh my God.
They can though.
Some real shit.
Dr.
I mean,
Miami,
I'm like, my nigga, you know, if once that catch fire, it's gonna be
It ain't gonna fire like the BBL,
Okay.
but he doing it though.
But I'm like,
But who are you doing it for? Are you doing it for yourself or are you doing it for women?
hell no, you doing it for women.
Exactly.
You doing it for
So that's the thing. But that's the thing.
So in your mind, but listen. Okay. So look, you doing it like in our lifetimes, right? We're taught like we're built to mate, right?
Yeah.
So like when you can make with more, when your options are open, you have more self-confidence, more self-esteem. You walk in a bigger light. Like your pool opens up even further than what you thought it was open.
Wait,
to.
what
that's
gave
the
you that
end. That's the,
Right.
that's the
That's the
end goal.
question.
That's the end goal is to have your pool open up. But your first reaction to doing it is because you need that self-confidence, or you want that self-confidence.
You
want that
fuck
self-confidence.
better.
You want that self-confidence enhancement, so you can have a
So where did it come
variety.
from? Do you
Where did it
all
come
feel
from? It
that?
came from somebody who told you, hey,
You had a small.
you
Do
too
you,
small.
so do you feel the size of your penis equals up or measures your value and worth?
Yes.
So,
Listen.
Okay.
People with little dicks don't have the same type of life as people.
Okay.
Right.
But
Right. No, we are not
But
talking.
that brings the point as to why.
I'm saying.
That brings the point as to why women get their bodies done. I
Yes.
feel like there's so many women that are insecure because of a man. When the
Right.
man says
Right.
this looks better, so a woman wants to attract a man, right? That's
Right.
the end goal. So
With
yeah,
this
I'm gonna
logic.
get this, I'm gonna get that because it'll open my pool, right?
right.
But
Right.
realistically, I was cool with the way I looked,
So
right?
look, here's a twist. So I can have 10 inches, but to me, I feel like I'm small. I may realistically think I'm small.
Why?
So
Where did that come from?
But do
It's
y'all
just
not
my own
want women?
inclination.
Do y'all not want men with bigger dicks?
Not necessarily.
No,
No, that's not.
I
I've heard women say it was too big. It was
No,
too
I
much.
don't-
I'm saying too big is one thing.
No,
right?
I
But if
want
you-
the
but if you-
biggest
but-
one.
But
I
if
want the
you
big
but if you fuck with a nigga who didn't have
I want the
okay,
big one.
okay, let's be real about this shit, right? Dick size changes the whole spectrum of the relationship.
It
Oh,
definitely
no,
does. It definitely does.
Y'all allow more shit when the nigga can drop dick
That's
like
not
he's supposed
true.
to.
That is
Alright,
not
okay,
true.
I'm gonna give you my rule of thumb.
Yes,
Can I
it
give
is.
everybody my rule of thumb real quick? Listen. Alright, so good sex, right? Which requires a decent sized dick at least. You ain't out here fucking
Okay,
some
that's
little dick.
okay.
I'm like,
You gotta-
good. Let me. I got you. Listen.
I really don't know.
Good
My
sex.
decent is a 9.
Listen,
Oh,
good sex is about 10% of a relationship, right? You know you got it, so now you're searching for all the other shit. You want trust, loyalty, all that shit, right? But you're willing to deal with more because you already know the good sex is involved. Bad sex.
That's not a good.
No, hear me
that's not
out. Bad sex is like 75% of a relationship.
Okay.
What if a nigga don't fuck you right?
But look, it could be the nigga he might be big enough, but can't last.
Wait,
That's true.
Which is a problem. You
It's
can
medicine
be,
for that too.
so look, you can be too big, problem. He don't last long enough, problem.
He don't
too
eat the
small, problem. He don't eat, problem. It's a lot of things that go.
But niggas will get surgeries for the perfect
Well,
dick.
honestly
This is
and
true.
truthfully,
No.
Wait.
I must
True.
say, I'm so sorry. A perfect size, I don't even know what that means. I'm gonna be honest with you. And there are so many other things that come before a big.
Women like to be
before
mentally
a big-
stimulated.
Yeah.
So
But honestly and truthfully, to your original question about the worth
Mhm.
after having surgery, honestly and truthfully, what is the difference between a man wanting to increase the size of his penis than a woman wanting to get her
How would that
entire
even
body
happen?
done.
How
Or
would that
chocolate.
I feel like,
Well,
I
like,
feel
what
like
is the
there is,
difference?
but I feel
actually
like there
think there's
is
a
no difference.
Yeah,
I
it's
just,
not.
there is absolutely
There's no difference. I was
just
just
ain't
quite
heard it.
astonished with the belief that we really want these huge, large
But there's a
penises.
reason, right? Because you feel like you heard it somewhere, so you're doing
Right.
it for a woman, not because you thought, oh,
It's
I
not
wasn't,
for
I wasn't
yourself.
doing
Think of
enough, but I'm doing it because women, right, supposedly want that. But that's not
And
necessarily.
you don't watch too much porn. So here's the thing.
Well, I'm gonna say I like the biggest ones. I like the biggest ones, like the 9s, the 10s, like I think the biggest.
See, I don't want it too big.
I
want
want it. I'm sorry, I do. Size matters to me.
Okay.
It definitely matters to me.
Yeah.
I needed to.
And I've heard that before. Like, I've heard that.
I needed to match your body. I needed to honestly sexually please me. Me personally, I like the bigger ones. Like honestly, I get bored with the smaller ones. Average, okay. You know how women like we kind of like put the size on a graph. You have like husband dick, and then you have boyfriend dick, and then you just have like side nigga. Like no shit. Honestly and truthfully, I want the side nigga dick. No shit. Cause those are the ones that like mentally like mess you up.
I love this conversation because I am fascinated.
I'm be messed up.
This is just like mind blowing. I just want good dick.
I just want good dick.
I just.
And see, some of y'all want that. But I've heard women say, like, even friends or whatever, tell me, like, look, I ain't dating no nigga that ain't, if he ain't 12
They're
or
probably
better.
just talking to. Like,
I know, bro. I know a girl. I know a girl right now.
I'm not dating
Is 12 a
anyone.
ruler?
12 is a ruler.
No, I'm not dating.
That's a foot.
I'm not dating
12 inches is a
anyone
foot.
who is 6, 7 inches. If you're like 6, 7, I'm sorry. We are not going to be compatible only because I know for a fact that you're not going to sexually satisfy.
And you got that too.
But that's for you. It's not for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. It's not for everybody. Everybody is not saying that, right? You do want to be sexually compatible, but it doesn't matter if you're big or smaller or whatever the case is. That's
Not at all. I love this because I think the men are kind of saying the same thing, right? Where it's like said, the message is longer the schlong.
Well, I like girls.
The more desirable, right? And then on the other side, the message is being saying the bigger the breasts and the
more
derriere,
attractive,
the
right.
more attractive you are.
Yeah.
But as we sit here and have these discussions, there's so many more variations
Right.
to those beliefs than actually what we're being told every day.
And I just feel like with the question itself, I guess my perspective, I'm not going to say in your example, a man with a mate dick or a woman with enhancements is more valuable than me. And I don't. And I feel like that's just what it comes to. I feel like we should all just hold our self-value for ourselves. I'm not going to say someone's worth is higher
Oh, for sure.
because they have this. And I
Well,
feel like that
Now,
was...
if a nigga standing right next to me and he talking about, yeah, my nigga's a foot long, so?
Well, honestly and truthfully, how could you like honestly say that as you being a natural woman, I do know that natural is beautiful, but how can you say as a woman versus someone like me who would get all of these enhancements that our word, like your word, will still be as greater when I have invested more?
Yeah, I think that and like when you naturally have a bigger dick, or when you naturally, or like when you already confident with yourself, or and if you're not confident with yourself, when you do work to yourself to get there, that particularly affects the mental. Like you feel better, and so you act better, you move better, you dress better, you feel more sexy.
Well,
But I feel like what's being misconstrued is I didn't say it was better. And that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, and that's what I want to be clear. I never said my natural is better than this enhanced.
Yeah.
What I'm saying, what I said
worth.
was, no, but the worth, I feel like both of the worths should be right here. I feel like just because you're natural doesn't mean now my worth is better. Just because you're enhanced, now your worth is better. We should both be right here.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree
confidence.
with that.
Confidence, and that's what I'm saying.
And that's what people lack.
I don't
People like
necessarily
it. They're so
agree with
insecure.
that only
Yeah.
because of the simple fact that if we so let's just relate this to like maybe an iPhone. With an iPhone, you make adjustments, and with time, it becomes a new iPhone.
Okay.
So that iPhone value becomes more than the last one. So if, say for instance, you have like these naturally like
Big titties.
like big titties, and I go get big titties, but my titties are bigger than yours, or like my ass is bigger than yours, or mine just look better. My worth then becomes greater. Not versus you.
can't necessarily say
I feel like my worth becomes greater. Like it definitely does because because of the simple fact that I invested into something greater.
But
let me go back to your iPhone.
But what
right?
okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me go back to your iPhone. So you got the iPhone 12 that just came out, or whatever the case is. You got
14.
the 13, whatever the case is. We both got 12s. You saying your 12 just got a bigger screen? Well, shoot, this one fit in my hand perfect.
iPhones are not.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That was
So you got the
But at the same time, would you be looking for something that would just fit in your hand, or would you be looking for something with more features?
It depends.
It depends on what the features are.
It depends on what the features are.
I'm like,
Yeah, I definitely agree. I agree with that.
We're right here, right?
It's
It's
certain worlds
he ain't gonna want to
that
feel alone,
different
baby.
ones
That's
matter
a feature
in,
he
right?
don't want.
It's certain worlds.
perspective.
Like, listen, if you work in the club world, right? You go get your body done. All right, cool. So you go get your body done. Now you're more valuable in the club world. But you might not necessarily be more valuable
In
in the
if you go to
corporate
the
world.
country club. Huh?
If you try to join the club, because they look at you
But
like.
also too, I think that the worth also equates to the reasoning behind it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like honestly and personally, like my surgical procedures will be worth much more than a cisgender woman because the reason of me getting it is far greater than
But that's
anyone
why
else.
it's the perspective. It's confidence, basically,
Yes.
on what matters to you. So, like, it's your world. Everybody else just lives in it. So, it's like whatever you're comfortable with is just like, that's how it goes.
Right.
That's how I think.
I definitely agree with that, but I do have one question.
What's the question?
One question, and this is really to the men.
Oh, okay.
So, if per se, like, since we're talking about surgeries, I do everything that I can possibly to look like a cisgender woman, surgically. Would you look at us, because we have had all these surgical procedures, would you look at us as equal as you would at a cisgender woman?
I think I am. I think I'm looking at you equally. I mean,
But when I say equally, would you, like, if you should meet
View her as a woman
as a woman,
opposed to a trans woman.
meaning like, say for instance, I know that you're married, but let's just imagine that you're not married, and you see this woman out in public, and you're attracted to this woman,
Right.
and you don't know she's trans. Would you see her as a woman, and then even after she tells you that she's trans, would you still view her as a woman?
So there's okay. So here's my thing, right? The honest answer is no, not as of right now. There's a lot of growth in the human factor that we have to get to. Just being honest. There's a lot of growth in the human factor. Am I open? Are we open to that growth? Am I open to that growth? Yes. Have I gotten there yet? No, because there's too many factors I think about. I think about, can I have a kid with you? You know what I'm saying? I think of, and it's literally like, it's like, listen, has it gotten to the point where, and this is all honesty, like, has it gotten to the point where, like, you can give me everything that a woman would give me, or do you want to just be looking? Do you want to, like, are you looking to adopt a kid? What if I don't want to adopt? What if we don't agree? What if we don't agree with that? Can you have a kid right now? And it's a lot of factors that I gotta think about immediately when I look into that.
So what you equate a real woman to be is and a lot of men do this. They equate a real woman to being able to have children. But you guys are aware that there are cisgender women that cannot have children.
So here's my thing, and honestly, like, I equate woman to being able to do a lot of things, right? Like, but That is one of the things.
What is it that a cisgender woman could do that a trans woman cannot?
So here's the thing. I'm not saying that there's anything that y'all can do that, but if having kids is that thing, right? That is immediately a thing that I'm gonna go through.
Yeah.
Like if I'm dealing with a woman, right, and we eventually find out that that for whatever reason she can't have kids, that is one thing, and that is a bridge that I have to cross once I get there. If I go into a situation knowing that like you can't have kids and I want kids, that is going to immediately affect me. It has nothing to do with how I see you or how I view or my respect for you. It's not that. It's the things that I want out of life.
Yeah.
And that particular thing, because even though kids might be just one thing, right? You might be able to, you might look good, and you can, you know, you're a boss woman.
We know what
and
you
you,
was thinking.
I'm like,
Go
you look
ahead.
good. You're a boss woman. I'm like, we can be out in public and all that. You can hold yourself well. Everything about you is tight. But that one thing, not being able to do that, is like 70%. Like that is a huge
But how
thing.
is that 70% when that's kind of like degrading to a cisgender woman to say like, oh, you know, let's just say you said going into the situation that you know that the person cannot have children.
Right.
Well, let's just say that you went into a situation with a cisgender woman saying, and she told you she cannot have children.
Right.
Is the opinion and the difference is still the same?
Yes, and so here's the thing. That is my prerogative. Like, and I think people miss that a lot. I have just like everybody, we have the right to decide what we want out of life. Look, if I want kids and I want to have a kid by my wife, I want a love child from this woman who I plan on marrying, then that's what the fuck I want. If you can't give me that, don't get mad because you can't give me that. I don't care what the reason is. So okay, cool. Like if you can, let's talk. Let's move forward with other things, right? Like you know, and that's just what it is. I have a right to choose whether I want to do that or whether I want to not. It is not a knock about you. I respect it. But is that something you asked me the question? Is that something that would affect my opinion on how I looked at it? Yes, it would absolutely do it. It is not that I don't think you're beautiful. It is not that I don't accept you. It is not that I don't respect you. It's more so, can you provide me the things that I needed in life?
That's right.
Right, and I think it goes both ways for a natural woman, or however you want to call it. If a woman gets with a man, a woman knows they want to have kids, and they got a time frame. I gotta have kids before 30 or whatever the case is. And if they're dealing with a man who doesn't want kids, then they're gonna cut that off. Yeah. They're gonna say, all right, look. They're gonna say, all right, look. This is what I want. I want it by a certain time. I want it by before a certain age. Yada yada yada. And if you can't give me that, then I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to move on. I can't be with you if you can't give me this one thing. That's what it's gonna be.
And I think that like as like a transgender woman, if you gonna like you are obviously, but since you're gonna live this life as a real woman, you have to be prepared for those types of things.
Right.
Like you have to come into the situation knowing that if you want me to treat you like a regular woman, I'm gonna treat you as a regular woman with the standards that I have for the woman that I want to date. I'm not gonna treat you any different just because you're a transgender woman. If you a woman, okay, cool. I want to have kids. What's up?
Okay.
I have a question. So when you meet a man, are you telling them off rip like, okay, this is my situation, or do you wait till you're involved to say like, okay, this is where I'm at? Like, how do you feel?
Off rip, I am not telling someone that I'm trans.
Right.
Only because if I'm just having a normal conversation, us sitting here, and we're having a normal conversation, I don't feel like I have to introduce myself as, hi, I'm Milan and I'm trans.
Right.
No. Now, if I have the idea in my head that I want to pursue this person, then honestly and truthfully, I would have to decipher for myself when would be the right moment for me to say something.
Yeah, and I could imagine there's so much different context that could go into that, right? Like even safety.
Yes.
I could imagine be a big part
I
of
would
that.
never, and that's another thing too, I would never tell someone that I'm trans in front of them.
What do you mean?
I wouldn't face to face.
In person.
Like if we were sitting together, cause one thing I do run into a lot, like a lot of trans women, sometimes we have this thing where you can be clocked, and being clocked means that you're not passable. Now, for me personally, the situation is a bit different because I'm able to blend in society with other women. So my look isn't so aggressive or abrasive to the point where you're just gonna know I'm trans off back. Now, I do feel like that the safety thing comes in because if a man comes up to me in a club or in a restaurant and he has no idea that I'm trans, I am not going to put myself in a situation where I'm just like, hey, I'm trans right in front of them. Because one, a lot of men have like this ego and that it's just like, you know, like some men, especially when they're with friends. When they're with friends, I'm definitely not going to do it because it could be like embarrassing for the man. And I don't want to ever embarrass a man. So if a man comes up to me and he's interested in me and he doesn't know I'm trans, I will give you my number. I will speak to you. But via text message, that's when I'm going to tell you. I'm not going to embarrass you, and I'm definitely not going to put my safety at risk.
It's just understandable too. Like, take care of you.
I mean, it's still respectful.
I got a question. So do you? And this is something that we were having a conversation about recently. Do you or do you know anybody that has sex with a man before they tell him? And how would you go about that?
I don't think I've ever been in that situation, but in the beginning of my transition, I have been in a situation where I have done something with the man without telling him that I'm trans. So.
But you said in the beginning of your transition, so did he not know at all? He didn't know anything? As far as like...
Or was he aware?
No, he wasn't aware.
Okay.
He wasn't aware.
Okay.
But that also goes back to like, you know, I enjoy and I'm very like passionate and committed to being passable.
Okay.
So it's just like in my earlier days of transitioning, I didn't feel like I needed to tell anybody because it was just like I wanted to be viewed as a woman. You saw me as a woman. What would be the point of me telling you? But then later on, as I thought about like safety and stuff, that's when I started to actually say it.
Yeah.
I think a lot about it. Like I said, I you know, my mom was a lesbian, so and I grew up with her in the '90s. So the '90s was different in the you know like in that community. It was completely different. So like I felt a lot of hatred even from like family members like
towards you.
Towards
the family.
Towards my mom.
Yeah.
And when you hate my mom, you hate me.
Yeah.
You know what's up. But like, you know, and so like, eventually it's a point where now it's acceptable. You know, nobody questions it. Nobody. It's like, okay, cool. My mom's gay. Everybody like, oh, okay. You know, but back then it'd be like,
it wasn't no purpose.
It wasn't a thing.
But also,
same thing now.
I feel like a really big issue nowadays is the fact that it's so many trans women out here now that you just don't know.
Right.
You're right.
It's a lot of trans women now that you really like do not know. And honestly and truthfully, like some of us want to be that way. We want to live that stealth,
authentic type
that stealth lifestyle. We want to live that. Like I personally want to live the stealth lifestyle. I want to be able to sit in a room full of women and nobody would ever question it.
attracted to her. And let's say you guys started engaging in conversation and things started to go on, but you didn't know until later on that she was trans. But she didn't tell you at first. Would you feel some sort of way about it?
Honestly, no, because I'm comfortable with who I am. So if I meet a person and they just happen to be trans, and I'm like, well, hey. Now, at the end of the day, I'm not going to be like, damn, man, I was talking to her. No, bro, it is what it is. And let it go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what people got to do. Like, they just got to let it go. All right? If that wasn't your preference, then that wasn't your preference. You know what I'm saying? If that just happened to be what you did want to hear, it wasn't what you wanted to hear, but it happened, let it go.
So do you decide from there once they tell you?
Okay.
Yeah. You want to go forward?
That's on my preference. If I want to go forward, I'm going to go forward. If I don't, I'm going to say, all right, cool, it was nice to meet you, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, I literally, I completely agree. Like, look, if we catch a vibe, okay, cool, we catch a vibe. Like, I saw you as a woman. Like, I'm not questioning my sexuality. I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
Like, I know who I am. I know what you know what I mean. I'm like that. You know, so many people. A lot of guys these days, they are very uncomfortable with their sexuality. We ain't gotta talk about that. But like, I'm like a lot of guys that are really uncomfortable with their sexuality. So like, you know, but if we vibe, we vibe. And once you tell me, all I ask is for honesty. Let me have the right to make that decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If I decide to move forward, okay, cool, we lit. If I decide not to move forward, you don't get mad either though.
Yeah.
Because that's my prerogative.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, so.
And at the same time too, I probably met her at night. I probably couldn't see for real. But if I met her in the daytime,
Oh.
no, this ain't a
He don't mean no harm.
No,
But
I think he means it.
If I'm saying at night, I'm saying like in a place that's not well lit. It's not well lit, so I can't really decide if this is a woman for sure or not because I can't really
So
depend.
essentially what you're saying is that a trans woman is only passable at night.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if I met you at night and I don't know versus if I met you on the day and I still don't know.
So what if you met them at night and you didn't know and you still met them during the day and you
that's what I was just about to say. It's the same. It's gonna end up being the same thing. It's gonna end up being the same thing.
I think her turn was more so of like, are you basically judging me based off appearance? Like, are you judging based off? Can I add also what it sounded like?
Yeah.
What it sounded like was like
I couldn't tell.
Okay, it was because it was in the dark. That's why you.
Yeah.
And for I would assume if I'm trying to look like a woman, even if I am very very flat all the way around as a cisgender woman, like if I'm trying to look like a woman or feel more like who I am, and so it's like, oh, I could only think that because you was in the dark. I would imagine that would be a little offensive.
It's definitely offensive because of the simple fact that being trans is a stereotype anyways when it comes to the nighttime. Because a lot of people already think that we're night crawlers or night walkers.
Yeah.
Or the simple fact that like we are only capable of being seen at night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a thing already.
Yeah.
Like men already only want to see us at night. And
It
that's
really
when
is a
that's
thing,
when
it's
honestly
okay.
and truthfully that's when you have to decipher. That's when it becomes complicated for a trans woman because if you meet someone at night, like say for instance that I met one of you guys at a club at nighttime. And we vibe, this and the third. And then after I tell you I'm trans, then the complication will come into if you decide to continue to talk to me, it will be in my head, now am I a fetish?
Which I've heard a lot actually.
Forward with that.
It's a complicated situation, like, because honestly and truthfully, like, trans women are a fetish. Because essentially we are a fetish. Like, it's so crazy because of how many men
You
look.
can tell us some stories, girl.
Like,
I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I would say 80% of men like trans women.
Because I think when we start, and I don't have all the answers, and I'm a cisgender woman, and I identify as heterosexual. That's what it's called?
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I know all, but what I do believe is gender is made, right? And so if you are attracted to femininity, you're attracted to femininity.
Okay.
If I'm attracted to masculinity, I'm attracted to masculinity. And if I'm attracted to the hybrid of both, that is what I'm attracted to. So when I really think about gender and sexuality, it's more of like this social construct that people put on us, and we're trying to figure it out and act within it. And I don't think it's so much different than the conversations we were having earlier about color, to be quite honest.
Honestly and truthfully, I think that people have to understand that there's a difference between gender identity and sexual
Absolutely.
identity. And I think that that's where people fall short. Because honestly and truthfully, my gender identity is that I'm trans. But I also identify my sexual identity. I identify as heterosexual because I look at myself as a woman that is attracted to men.
Yeah.
So I actually don't identify as homosexual or any of the sorts. I identify as heterosexual.
Okay.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think the issue becomes whether or not a man is considered heterosexual or homosexual, because sometimes trans women are looked as fetishes because of what they assume that we have in between our legs. So then that takes away.
Does that make a difference?
Of us, like, no, honestly and truthfully, like, what you have in between your legs doesn't make you less than a woman.
It's just basically of, like, what you see yourself as.
Yes.
Okay.
Gender identity is who you feel that you are.
Okay.
Who you identify as a person, regardless of what the exterior presents itself.
Okay. So, what do you guys think marriage looks like in the Black community?
Slim.
We said marriage? Marriage.
It's beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay. I love the optimism. Yes.
I think we're trying to empower Black marriages more, especially nowadays because it does have such a negative, like, connotation to it. Like, people always think that Black families come from broken homes. You know, the fathers are not in place, and moms are always raising a bunch of kids by themselves and things like that. So now, like, in our day, present day, like, we are trying to empower Black love, right? You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of Black people that are married. But it just, it's not recognized. It's not recognized for some reason. You know what I mean? My family, I come from a long line of married folks. You know what I mean? And very minimal divorces, if that's the case. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's just a thing of we need to promote it more, for real. And I think I see it a lot more now than what I used to.
Can I be honest?
I think that, personally, like, when it comes to, like, Black marriages, I think that, to set aside from what you just said, I think that Black marriages should be more diverse.
What do you mean?
Only because, like, you know, with the black culture, you know, a lot of Black families have an issue with, like, interracial relationships or relationships with, you know, like, it's not common for a trans woman to be married. That's like you rarely gonna find that. But then also too, when a Black woman marry a white man or vice versa, like, it's always an issue. So honestly, for me personally, I would say that with marriage, when it comes to the Black community, I personally would like to see more diversity.
Yeah, I think just to be truthful, when I do see interracial couples, specifically a Black man and a woman who is not Black, I have to be honest and say that at times I am very triggered. And I've noticed this. It's something I work on. However, because there has been such this preoccupation of lighter skin, longer hair, or being something other than Black, when I see it, it automatically stings a little. And I think it's because of history and context. And I know for me, I've always strived to get that Black love, right? I think for generations, we were pulled apart and torn apart, and we still are. Where half of our Black men are, not half, that's exaggerating, but a lot of our Black men are locked up and incarcerated, right? And so it's fighting for this union that I've never been allowed to have in America or North America. And so for me, Black love is really important, and understanding that I am very devalued in the Black community. Now I'm like, I don't even know if I want to get married. Because no Black man has ever treated me right. Ever. I have been slapped, right? I've been called everything. I have been stomped. And I'm a Black woman who stands with her head up high every single day, right? And tries to do something for her community. But I've never been valued by someone who's supposed to be my partner or someone who's supposed to see me as a sister. They don't even value me as a friend. You know? So it's at this point I'm now recoiled and don't want it at all because it terrifies me because I feel that I'll be victimized again, and how am I going to stand up on my own when I didn't do it to myself, right?
I think that's why Black love and Black marriages are so important. So we can get out of that idea of just being treated as less than. And I would really like to see Black men work towards marriages, but even when you ask a Black man about marriage, they get so uncomfortable. They don't want to talk about it. They don't want it. They don't want to sign the papers. They want something where it's like, we together, but we don't have no papers, and we, you know what I'm saying? Like, they want that. They want the open-ended.
Or you my baby mama.
Yeah. Oh, you can have my kid.
You can have my kid.
But I'm not gonna give you a ring.
But see, at the same token, that's from somebody who, that's how they were brought up. So that's all they've seen. So just like a female who was brought up in the club life, and all she knows is the club. That's all she knows.
Well, I was brought up in a single mother home, and that's not all I try to make myself to know.
Like,
Since that's all I see, it's like I want the
about
opposite of that.
Right.
Because I seen it made my mom bitter. I seen it made her feel like she wasn't worthy or she could never find anybody. Like, to this day, she doesn't even have hope. And I don't want that for myself. If I get it or not, I still want to have that love for myself, but I don't want to be stuck in the idea of single black mother. I could do this on my own. No, I want that man beside me, and I want a family.
No, and the same for me. My mom is never been married at all, and she had this certain qualities that my mom had. I value to never have them. Like, my mom don't have no patience. You know what I'm saying? She always late to places. Like, it's a lot of things that my mom has that I don't want. Like, I don't want no part of it. It's a lot of things my dad has. I don't want no part of it. My dad never been married, so I come from that. In my family, I can probably name 2 couples that are married. I don't come from that. Meleeze does. So she had to shed some light. I had to get educated.
I did. I pushed.
So she pushed, and actually it was a great push. It wasn't like I got pressured, but she pushed, and she was like, look, this is what I want. I want marriage. I want a kid. I want a kid. I want 5. You know what I'm saying?
It was the push that got you, and not the pressure. So if you would have got pressured, you feel like you would have ran away from the situation a little bit, or from her?
Probably because it was never my personal goal. I never even saw myself getting married. Not because I didn't want to get married. It was like, shoot, it wasn't even a thought. I just didn't really. It just wasn't even on my list.
That's crazy.
And not, like I said, it's not just because I didn't want to. It just never. It wasn't on my top 10.
And I feel like women, if we don't express the sort of things that we want, you know, your man will get too comfortable. You know, he'll get too comfortable. He'll be like, we just chilling. You know, things are good. Why do we need to change? You know, and honestly, if you have a great relationship or great communication, it's not going to change. People ask us all the time, like, what's it like? Yeah, what's different? What's it like to be married? Like, how do you feel? Honestly, it just feels the same, you know? Like, we've been together a while, a long time.
How long?
We're working on 10 years in January.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
So, right. So, but, you know, he's my best friend. We've worked towards building a great relationship, and I honestly I couldn't see nobody better. You know what I mean? I'm like, we're together. Why can't we get married? You know, it's not gonna be no different. Are you nervous about the piece of paper that comes along with it? Like, it shouldn't be anything.
Was there a moment in your relationship in the 10 years where you wanted to walk away? And if you didn't, why?
Gonna put her on the spot like that?
Man, I'll tell you, look, man. In the 10 years we've been together, yes, she wanted to walk away because I wasn't giving her what she wanted, and it was simple as that. I felt like I was doing things on my end. I was in situations where I felt like I'm not doing enough, and nothing financially. I just had situations where I'm like, damn, these speed bumps just keep happening. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to come out there, we were long distance, we moved away from each other. I got locked up. So it was stuff like that was going on, and I'm like, bro, I keep having these hiccups. I'm not gonna be able to get my relationship on track because I'm having my own personal issues.
Yeah. How was it having her there while you were locked up?
Shoot, the best thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing like being in a place like that and not having somebody on the other end of the line that's like, yo, what's going on? You know, and you smiling, it's all good because what I saw in there, bro, put the money on my phone. Man, you always done. Hang up the phone. That bitch stupid.
You had no issue.
How you on the phone like that, bro? You can't be in this box trying to have power. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that. And I never had power over Meleeze. So why would I do it when I'm locked up? No, I still kept the same mentality even when I was in jail. That's why I say I don't know what kind of person I am because I just have like this very, very optimistic mind frame. I've been locked up. I didn't even know when I was getting out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't a life charge or nothing like that, but it was still the fact of not knowing when you coming home.
Yeah.
Having her there was that was perfect.
How was being locked up and not knowing when you were going to get out? How was that?
It's a little nerve wracking, but at the same token, it's like, sure, you got really one day at a time.
Yeah.
Find things. I'm still educating myself. I'm locked up with people who were going to the same school, different majors. They girls or whoever their significant others are sending them in their accounting sheets so they can stay sharp on what they doing. Yeah. So I'm in there staying educated, trying to learn new things, and just stay on top of stuff because I feel like when I get out, I'm going right back to where I was, trying to finish school, and I'm still going hard. So it wasn't nothing like I'm not gonna stop.
Right. And Meleeze, when you found out he was locked up, what was that day like for you?
That was really tough, honestly, because it was like, damn, like another thing just slowed us down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, everything we're rolling. You know, we're not thinking like, okay, maybe we'll move in, maybe we'll do something. You know, but now we've hit this situation, and it's like, now what do I do? And now because it was not knowing what was going to happen or how long he was going to be there, it was like, well, what do I do? Do I sit around? Do I wait? You know, do I look messed up if I be like, look, I can't stick it out with you? You know what I mean? Like, it was a lot going through my head, but his optimism kind of rubbed off on me, and I was like, no, we'll get through it. We're going to break it out. It's going to be okay. You know, and sure enough, you know, it was hard days, and I was like, you know, maybe I should just quit. Like, you know what I mean? I did go through that. Even in a previous relationship, I went through that, you know, and I was young then too, and I was like, you know what, I'm too young for this, you know, I want a life. Yeah. So being with him though, and him being my best friend, and being in the relationship that we had for as long as we had, it was like, I need to stand by you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, we gonna get through this. It's not gonna be forever, you know. And sure enough, he got out, and you know, we worked through it, and he's so like motivating, honestly. Like, he got out, went to school, went back to school, got a job, did all this. You know, it didn't faze him at all. You know what I mean? You would have never thought he went through what he went through. And you know, to me and all my friends, we say he's an inspiration, because most people who go through things like that, they feel like there's no coming back from it. You know, it's like, damn, now what do? I just stick to what I'm used to. No, that's not it. That's not the end for you. And I think that's what attracted to me so much about him, is that he just was still on the let's keep going. Yeah. It's not the end, you know, so yeah.
Yay, now you guys are parents.
And we are parents now.
I just want to piggyback off of that. The fact that we have went so hard and went together, going together, man, it's like glue, man. Like, for real, like, this is my rock right here. Like, anything other than this is not going to be the same.
Oh my God. I love that.
Dutch. And when we say going Dutch, like splitting everything. Bills, dates. What else do you split? I don't know. Gas money. What do you think about this?
Let me get on this topic.
I
love this one.
I know y'all do. Okay.
I love this one. So, before Meleeze, I went on a date, and she asked me out. And I told her straight up, I'm like, look, I really don't have the funds. I just sent all my money off. I just paid all my stuff. I probably had literally $2 to my name. Real talk, until like the next time I got paid. And she like, oh, it's cool. We can just go. I want to go eat, and I want to go bowling. And I'm like, I said, look, I can do one with you, but I don't need you to take me out to eat and take me bowling. Like, I'm cool, just whatever. I really don't want to go because I don't even have no money to my name. She like, no, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it. I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I felt like it was a lie, but I was like, all right, I'm gonna just go with it anyway. Go eat. Conversation was cool. Food was great. This girl asked me for like a piece of something, and like asking and going at the same time. Like, can I have? I'm like, hey, I'm like, what you doing?
Oh, you wasn't trying to share.
No, I wasn't trying to share.
Oh, okay.
So no, I'm like, cause I don't do that. I'm not on your plate. You know what I'm saying? Trying to eat off you. Like, why you on my plate? You know what I'm saying? So look, right? So she get an attitude, and next thing you know, when the waitress came, she put it on one bill. She said, oh no, we need two.
That's messed up.
I said, say less.
Dang.
We go into the front, trying to pay or whatever. I had like 5 cards, all of them declined. I'm calling my mom to tell her like, yo, I need some money. She never answered the phone. I called my mom like 3 times. My mom didn't answer the phone. I'm like, damn. So I said, damn, what am I gonna do? I said, I really can't do anything. I really have no money. The girl said, I'll pay for it. I'm like,
the girl you was with?
The girl I was with said, I'll pay for it. I'm like, why you have me go through all that if you gonna pay for it? Yeah. And I said, you know what? I said, after this, I'm gonna walk home. I don't even know how far it was from the restaurant. I said, I'm walking home. It's cool. She like, nah, I'll take you home. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. I'm finna walk.
Yeah.
You should have took the ride.
I took the ride. So look. I said, you know what? It's very dark on this street. It's very dark on this street. I'm gonna take the ride, whatever. I get in the car. She like, ooh, take a picture. I'm sending to my mom. I said, what? I said, no, we ain't taking a picture. Putting me on Snap and all. I said, no, I'm not doing that. I'm cool. And going Dutch, I don't have a problem going Dutch, but if you ask me out, don't expect me to pay the bill. If you ask me out. If I asked you out, then that means I got you. If I say, hey, Charlotte or Cimone, I want to go to this restaurant, but look, I only got like $20. You know what I'm saying? So I may only be able to cover me. And I feel like that's grown man conversation.
Okay.
That's reasonable.
I just want the company of you with me and we're just going out. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't always think like, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to tell you what it is.
Yeah, I agree with
and
that.
same thing for a woman. A woman should tell me, hey, look, I want to go out with you. I'm only going to be able to pay for my half. So if it's cool, can you know what I'm saying? Can you do that?
Yeah, we kind of identified the privileges of having a man, privileges of being a man, and one of those is I don't know if women, I wouldn't feel particularly comfortable telling the man like, oh, I only have $20 to play for myself. That's just information I would not disclose to a man because immediately power difference.
Yeah,
like, on top of the power difference.
What's the power difference?
We've already established you are a very emotionally mature man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that's been well established in this conversation, right? They're still growing, we all can do, but emotionally mature. I would say 90, let me not do that. There is a fair amount of your counterpart that is not.
At all.
So, power, I get it. I'm a hunter, slabs. Ooh, I know how I can slice this up real good and get what I want, the pieces I want.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one right here.
Manipulation.
You know, I have
Manipulation.
like, so first of all, I agree.
On which part?
So I agree that if you invite me out and I tell you what I can do, then you shouldn't expect me to be able to do anything different, right?
Okay, yeah.
But as a grown man, like for me, like when I was in college, okay, I ain't got no money. I'ma still go out. But that gets to a point where it's a bad business decision.
Right.
And then as a grown man, I'm about my business. I don't give a fuck about all that other shit. I'm not trying to hang with you all the damn time. Like I don't got time for that. I run a company. I work I do shit, my nigga. Like I'm sorry. So dead ass. So when it comes to that type of shit, yeah. Like has a woman offered to take me out and I went out and she's paid? Yes. Did I allow her to do that? Yes. Would I do that same thing these days? If I don't have $20 to my name to go out, why am I out? Why am I not grinding? And you know, like this like young people, period, including myself, including my friends, including y'all. Like we as young people, we do stupid shit and we learn and grow through it. That's some of the stuff that we did. You learned a valuable lesson when you went out. You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't do that no more. You know what I'm like because with like nowadays, I don't even allow my friends, women, like my women counterpart friends, to go out with me and I not take care of them. I take care of everybody with me. If I invite you out, if I tell you to come with me, hell, if you show up by accident, if you show up with my home, like if I invite my homegirl and you show up with her, I'm gonna take care of both of y'all. Like that, and that's just.
That's my expectation. I'm sorry. If I'm out with you, you better take care of me and my friends, and that is the expectation I've had for years. Right, wrong.
I agree.
I have a different expectation.
My mom has always told me, regardless if you think somebody's gonna take care of you or not, make sure you
have. But I don't expect nothing.
I don't expect nothing.
No. I can still take care of myself now. But that's the point, though. I can still take care of myself. But when I think of the man I want, he never gonna have my friends sitting there and then he like, ooh, split the bill.
That's right.
You know,
honestly and truthfully, I have a different opinion about that. If that's my man, he better not pay for no other person but me, because it's not his responsibility to be paying for no other man's woman. Period. If that woman is out and she is my friend, she should be coming into the situation knowing that she's gonna be paying for herself anyway.
Right.
So if my man decides to show up or he decides to participate, my man is only responsible for me. Just like because honestly and truthfully, I think of everything as 50-50. If I should show up to where my man and his friends are, I will pay for just my man. I'm not paying for my man and his friends. I'm not doing that.
Okay, I'm gonna say it depends on context for me. Just to be quite honest, I feel like, I ain't gonna say, it depends on context, If I feel like treating my man's friend, I could see myself doing it based off of a context, let's say.
I don't think.
I don't know.
I personally
Maybe it's my man's birthday.
I don't think that in any given situation.
Well, that was just
I don't think I'm responsible for my man's friends.
And you're
You're not.
So
In any given
look,
situation, I don't think I'm responsible.
it's not it's for me. This is not about responsibility.
No.
It's about what you
I don't give a damn about like okay, cool. Like my woman gonna be taken care of regardless. You ain't gotta worry about shit. You like if I show up, you ain't what you worried about. And if your friend here, it's not about whether I'm responsible for your friend or not. If you invite your friend, I'm pretty sure she's expecting to pay.
Right.
But I'm gonna take care of you anyway because that's just the type of motherfucker that I am.
It's a gesture.
Like, that's just who I am. You know
you
what
have
I'm
to know
saying?
your girl.
My man better not be paying for no other
you have
girls.
you have to know your girl.
What would be the next step?
If my man paid for another girl, I'm gonna be like, why?
If it's your best friend.
No. First of all, my best friend is a man.
So what if he paying? So what if he paying for it?
Yeah, like,
No,
look,
it's
that's a nice
like,
gesture.
Let me tell you, the offer can be on the table, but then at that point,
What's-
I would think my best friend would say, no, I got myself.
I think that's the point, because it's like, for me, my friends are an extension of me. My friends are my family for me. So it's like, taking care of me is taking care of my friends, taking care of my friends is taking care of me. So I think it's how you view it, right? And how you look at the dynamics.
So for you, it would be no different if you, him, and your mom went out and he took care of all of you. Absolutely. That's an expectation. No, but that's what
Oh, you talking about Israel?
No, that's what I'm saying.
That's a different situation.
But to her,
to a mom is a different type of
but what
dynamic.
she's saying is her friends
you better pay for
but
you better pay for the mom. But when it comes to a friend, it's different.
But she's saying her friends are
So
your friend.
It also depends on how many friends there.
Right.
Don't invite me and there's 8 of your damn friends and you like take care of everybody.
Right.
And first of all, so one, if I can't take care of everybody.
Well, no, if you can. You can. It's in your.
Oh, if I can,
budget.
Yeah.
It's in your budget.
So here's this.
I wouldn't allow my man to do that.
I've had the opportunity of can and cannot. So we go out and I invite my mom, then I'm taking care of my mom.
Right.
But if it's me and her and my mom show up, I'm taking care of this.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
I agree with that.
If she just show
I'm
up,
responsible for me. Let me tell you, if it's me and a spouse, we are one. So.
So you saying I ain't doing it, so you ain't doing it?
No, it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not doing it.
So we've gotten into some really juicy dialogues. Thank you all for coming to chill with us. Join us next episode with the sleepover.
Welcome to the sleepover. Welcome to the sleepover. Yeah. Welcome to the sleepover.